Great preparation by Karjakin. He basically got a position with two results, and he got the right result. So they played 1 billion moves of theory in a Grunfeld, because that's what MVL does. He plays the Grunfeld. Okay, now in this position, I think Maxime usually plays b6, which is not what a lot of Grunfeld aficionados do. Svidler, for example, will play bishop g4 here, or queen c7. I'm sure he's also played b6, but I don't think that's his main move. And this position has occurred 1 trillion times. Karpov-Kasparov match, they did this a lot. And, I mean, b6 is a move. And now white can take on c5. If white takes on c5 otherwise, he just has this bad pawn structure. But there's a pawn on b6, so we're basically just winning a pawn. And black plays queen c7 and says, yeah, you're up a pawn. That's a great pawn over there. So he's getting pressure on the c-file, pressure on the diagonal, and white's center is destroyed. But white's up a pawn. So, and again, this is all prep. This is all their preparation. So, yeah. Everything they did here, they did instantly. All these moves were played without thought. Threatening mate. Okay. So black has the two bishops. White has the worst pawn structure ever. Sounds good for black. But white has an extra pawn, and white's threatening this rook. Also, c6, c7 looks pretty good. Again, this is their prep. They're just moving instantly. And I guess their prep ended around here. Here they started slowing down, I think. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is the end of their prep. It could be they have more prep than this. White wins the exchange. Black wins back the exchange because the bishop and the rook are hanging. But white has this bishop on d5. So at the end of all this, to me, and I think I speak for my fellow GMs, MVL got to do something else. This has to go in the garbage. That's my opinion. 500 centidues. Go Ben. Thanks, Born in Oz. I think this will not be repeated. Now, I don't know what else black can do, because up until here, I mean, the players were playing really quickly. That's obviously their prep. And sometime between moves 18 and 23, their prep ended. But this is unacceptable for black. This pawn is hanging, giving white a passed A pawn. My rook is better than your rook. My bishop is better than your bishop. And I'm up a pawn or two. So this is unacceptable for black. So if this ever happens again, this line in the Grunfeld, at some point between moves 13 and 17, MVL is going to do something else. Because you can't do this. This is his prep, and it basically almost loses by force. So he's the world's leading authority on the Grunfeld along with Svidler. So, man, if Svidler saw this game, he'd be on the roof, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean, but this is unacceptable for black. And these opposite color bishop positions, when one bishop's on the F-pawn, there's just no defense. I mean, it's terrible. And so you got this problem, you got this problem, and my bishop is cemented on d5. It ain't going away. So this is maybe losing for black. I don't know. I mean, I know at least the first 17, 18 moves is MVL's prep. And we're on move 23, and he can almost resign. So he's got to go back to the drawing board. Yeah. This is unacceptable. I think Karjakin played perfectly this game. Okay, and again, you can't have this pawn here forever, so you got to play f5 at some point. I agree. But I mean, white's up a pawn, and white's got this. So should just be winning for white. Yeah, this move is actually bad. And the reason it's bad, if you didn't see this game, See, if MVL was playing you, that would be a good move. But MVL was playing Karjakin, so it wasn't a good move. The engine says bishop c7 is the best move, stopping the pawn. But okay, white's a pawn ahead, and white has 2 passed pawns, and black's king isn't safe. So maybe he could draw. But after this, he's definitely lost. If you didn't see the game, try to guess what the winning move is here for white. I think MVL just missed it. That's my opinion. Now, e4, that would be great for black. Then I have this monster bishop here. Anybody? Well, I mean, this bishop is attacked. That's you can't play king e2. If you're going to give your bishop away, you might as well take my bishop first. Yeah, so you guys aren't going to play this move. You can take the bishop, then I'll take your bishop. Then this pawn's pinned. Queen here, check is coming. You ain't going to win that position. That's just a draw. Yeah. Yeah, Desperate Times got it. He put a question mark, meaning he knew what the answer was. He pretended he didn't. Well done. I agree. Yeah, bishop c4 is just crushing. And the reason is you can't play queen takes because I queen. God damn. Queen takes looks like just the dead drawing move, but you can't stop my pawn. If only this pawn wasn't here, then you draw. Yeah. Well, if you can't play queen takes pawn, you can't play bishop takes pawn, and now your bishop's hanging, bishop there is insane. So you have to play bishop takes. You have to. Okay? And unfortunately, always repeat, black's king's no good. So we got a no good king that's in a mating net, and we have a pawn that's queening. So black can't trade queens into the dead drawn bishop of opposite color ending because this pawn is queening. And you gotta trade queens so you don't get checkmated. So you gotta trade queens, but you can't trade queens. Trade queens, I queen. Don't trade queens, I mate you. So anyway, he played the only move, according to the engine, bishop d4. And the idea is if you check, I can block with the bishop. But now these aren't ready to stop the A pawn. Your queen needs to defend your king, and your queen needs to stop the A pawn. Those are pretty far apart. So the game's just lost. There's no perpetual check. My king just hides here if you check me, on over here. My king hides on h3. So he tried, and he failed miserably. The lesson is never try. Oof. There's nothing to do. Here it comes. You can't take on a7 because your bishop's hanging. Did anyway. Yeah, bishop d3. That was nice. So probably MVL was hoping for what you guys would do. King here. Draw. That's what you guys would have done. Stalemate. If you don't like that, I can go here and also draw. Okay. But Karjakin not fallen for that. He played bishop here. That way there's no stalemates. The pawn could move. That's why Karjakin became a grandmaster at 12 years and 7 months. And you don't even know a grandmaster. You can't even name a grandmaster. So now we're threatening queen f8 mate with advantage and g5 mate with advantage. You got to stop them both. The engine plays queen here check, even though it loses a queen, because it gets mated the slowest. So that was really, really, really nice of Karjakin. a7, or queen here. He saw after takes here, bishop d3 wins. That's really nice calculation. And he got mated. Can't play g5 mate because it's pinned. Yeah, very nice by Karjakin. So, really nice technique. Almost a perfect game from Karjakin. Good opening prep. Back to the drawing board for MVL. That line in the Grunfeld, no good. Whatever that line was, he got to play another line because he got a position where maybe he can draw, but probably he'll lose more often. And no winning chances, just bad opening. And great technique by Karjakin. Great game. Yeah. And avoiding the stalemate, nice.